Yo, I'm making it to Gambia, inshallah. Like, subscribe. If you support my future plans, we're just to make it to Gambia at some point by the beginning part of 2027. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So here in the States, there's a loss of tradition here. Even if tradition is preserved, in the Muslim religion, in the text of Islam, which is the Quran and the Sunnah, Hadiths, sayings and teachings of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All of these things are preserved, but the culture is a strong thing. The culture is can almost be like a law in itself. Like that's why they call it cultural norms. The culture just demands things that commands things from all different types of places that are against Islam, and the Muslim community has a hard time prevailing, especially for myself as a person without a huge Muslim community in regards to like people that I see every day who I'm close with, and the intensities of the states keep you from growing close with your Muslim community simply off of work. Off of work alone, you lose contact with a lot of your Muslim brothers. You lose connection with them in your Muslim community, your masjid, because of the way the work is. And you will always find yourself having a hard time staying close with the Muslim community, staying close with the masjid, and working enough to have a future here. And when I say a future here is almost as equivalent to me saying having a family here. When I say I have a hard time seeing myself have a future here in the States, is me saying I don't see myself having a family here, even though I've tried to. And you know, I'm a man. I could battle it out if it comes to that. I've been married twice, and had aspirations of having a family with them both. I can, it, I can battle that out. But at this point in time, this will be a hardship for me that goes deep down to the soul. Um, for me, if I did get married and have a family here, so I don't have aspirations of even, you know, uh, s- you know, getting married here again. And when it comes to a place like the Gambia, Africa, it's much more easygoing, and the culture aligns more with somebody who is trying to practice their deen fully, and to the and get all the barakahs and all the traditions that come with the deen, and how it should align with your work and the way you provide for your family. Because in the Gambia, from what I've seen when I visited, the people are going to pray when it's time for prayer. The cultural tradition there is to do that. The adhan gets played, and you gotta go pray. You gotta go pray. Now, this is for the Gambians. I've seen some others, not pray when it was time for prayer. Like there's one restaurant that's not of Gambians. There's no need for me to say the nationality of the people, but from what I've seen in the majority Gambian community, which is in the realm of Busambala, Brikama, this area of Banjul of Gambia, these people are praying when it's time to pray, and work is around that. Being that most of the work is ran by the Muslims, and like I said, these traditions just I see the importance of culture. Like I see the how much it's almost like law. Like if when I say it's law, I mean like it can battle actual law. Like like it's hard for me to but it, when cultures change, the society changes. Like, so with a place like Gambia, when in it for seeing a future there, the as it pertains to okay, working, finances, um, business, family, especially, and that goes with finding a spouse who, you know, when it comes to that, like finding a spouse, you're dealing with somebody who is also has influences of the culture against them. And here in America, tradition, there's nothing like a traditional here. Everything you can see, everything perfectly aligning with the way the culture changes. Everything and everybody except the Muslims who are upon the right way, but you can see a lot of people being affected. And for me as a man, when it comes to women, the women get affected by the uh, the culture happening. It's nothing traditional here. The traditional gender roles are gone, and for me, I see this as a foundation, you know, a foundation other than the religion, even though the religion of Islam provides traditional gender roles. Like, the man is the breadwinner. The woman can work, but this it skews those gender roles, right? Me personally, I'm not with the woman working because I don't think that this gives her time to worry about the responsibility she has to take on, which is I'm not gonna say it doesn't give her time, but it is an endeavor, like working outside the house for 8 hours straight, so on and so forth. It's an endeavor that conflicts with the responsibilities the woman is supposed to take on, which is to um you know maintain the household while the husband is outside providing and eventually having children and focusing on them. You know, I'm not gonna say too much about, there's no point of that, but this is what I mean by like this the traditional roles here are gone because you got the woman. There's so much education here where women they get the education, and when they get the education, they've likely went into debt while also putting so much time into getting this paperwork, this certification, where they think, okay, I got a degree, I got to work now, I got the degree, and I got to pay off these student loans. So, and this is and you know, and it's easy to for a man could just say, I want a woman who doesn't work. You can find this. Like, I've strove for this, and I've found a woman who didn't want to work. And that didn't work out because the woman was wearing makeup, which is also something of the culture that battles that conflicts with just what a future spouse of mine should be. And we know makeup is tabarru, just beautification of the self. So it's beautification of a woman, and a woman should not be wearing makeup outside, at least in events. This is not this is not something beneficial uh, or moderate. It's something that is detrimental to the self, and I see it as a bit of a psychological thing where women, they gotta do this to go outside. And I don't want to make this a thing about the woman, but talking about the traditions that's going on in Gambia, the tradition, or I don't know, but what I'm seeing from when I went to Gambia, I didn't see a single woman with makeup on. I was you know, I didn't see a single woman with makeup on, and this connects me back to what I grew up on, as none of the women in my family wore makeup, and no, when I went to school, the girls weren't wearing makeup. I don't know what happened eventually, just like after high school, so and so, everybody's wearing makeup now. And this is a cultural norm that, is hard to fight against. It's conflicting with what I want. And me being not powerful, I'm not, like I said, you can find this. You can find this, you know. I also found a woman who said she didn't wear makeup, but it's like here, when a girl says she doesn't wear makeup, it just means she doesn't wear a lot of makeup. And that's how big of a thing makeup is here for somebody. And to reiterate, I'm talking about the culture. I'm not necessarily talking about women right now, but it's such a big thing, and it's like wearing no makeup is just like the craziest thing to women here. And with the culture of women in Gambia, they not they. This isn't a big thing. The beauty thing, you will find that this is, they have marketplaces for makeup and things like this, but you also have places in Gambia where those women who don't wear makeup, they don't really leave that area. They don't go out to those places where it's all types of things being sold. So this is their tradition is not to wear makeup. Like they don't know that it's not something written in their tradition, but it's just this is something that we just go out with our faces like patent. This is a big. So we're not even gonna get too far into this, but this is what I mean by and all together. I'm saying that I want the culture and the traditions to support what I want in the future, right? And I think Gambia does this way better than America, and the pressures of the culture in America is I feel has become too powerful. And that's it for this video, man. Like, subscribe, man. I just it's a bit of a rant, but you already know, man. Making it to Gambia, inshallah.